Hello and welcome to this presentation on GCSE English Language and Literature here at the Vale Academy. My name is Miss King and I'm the Curriculum Leader for English here at the Vale, and I'm hoping this presentation will enable you to understand everything the course comprises at Key Stage 4. Firstly, the course is a combined course, so students study both English GCSE Language and GCSE English Literature. Therefore, when they finish this course, they leave with 2 GCSEs. So what does the course cover? So the course covers a range of learning journeys and builds on all of the skills that students learnt at Key Stage 3, both in reading and in writing. And of course, we spend a lot of time honing those skills. The first thing we do in Year 10 is we study all of the literature texts that the students need to know so that they actually get to understand the stories. So that here at the Vale, we study An Inspector Calls by Priestley, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and our Shakespeare play, the full Shakespeare play we study for the examination, is Macbeth. For all of these texts, Delta provide wonderful booklets that actually have the text in them that students can annotate, so they've always got their own copy of the text. In addition to that, we provide them with an anthology that has all of the poems in them that students need to learn for their GCSE literature examination. Towards the end of Year 10, in Term 3, we begin their study of English language and start on the C1, Paper 1, where we're reading the fiction for that language exam. We also begin their spoken language at that point, preparing for that. So how is the course assessed? Well, firstly, in Paper 1 of English language, this is a fiction text that students are given, a short extract, and they're asked questions, 5 questions on this extract. And we teach the students how to unpick these questions, how to navigate their way through the text, ensuring all the time that they're informing their understanding and are able to answer the questions in a long extended way. The reading section contributes 40% toward their final result for Component 1. The second part of Component 1, Section B, is their writing section, their narrative. And this is informed throughout the year, and students plan and prepare this, ensuring that by the time they reach their GCSE, they know exactly what their narrative is going to be and they can tweak the title. And as I said earlier, this component is worth 40% of their overall GCSE English language. Paper 2 is a non-fiction paper, and students are given 2 extracts from very different time periods. So they're given a modern article and something that is about the same subject but much older, usually pre-1914. So for example, they might be given an article on lifeboat workers. And of course, it was very different in the 1800s being on the lifeboats to today. And students are expected to not only answer the questions on each text, but also to make some of those comparisons and look at the different viewpoints and how they've changed. Section B of this paper is also non-fiction, and students are asked to write 2 smaller tasks, spending 30 minutes on each one. And of course, this will be in the form of either an article or a letter or a speech or a review or a report. And this examination, Paper 2, Component 2, contributes 60% towards their final GCSE. I mentioned the spoken language earlier, and this is also a separate qualification that is a really good qualification for students to have for when they take on to college for interviews or for apprenticeships. Students prepare a presentation and present it to a small group of their peers. These are all recorded, and this is a compulsory element. It's done in a very private and safe, comfortable way, and it's usually really enjoyable because students can actually choose the subject they want to talk about. So it's something that interests them. So how is the literature course assessed? Well, there are 2 papers. So Component 1 is Shakespeare, Macbeth, and then the anthology, Poetry. So for the Shakespeare, students are given an extract and they answer a question, and then they're given a second question where they write about their knowledge of the whole play. For Section B, for the Poetry, Students are provided with one poem and they answer a question, and then they answer a second question where they make comparisons to another poem they have learned. And that is worth 40% of their overall GCSE literature. The second paper, as you can see, is much longer. This is a more challenging one. It's 2.5 hours, and they need that time. They need every minute because they answer a question with an extract and the whole play of An Inspector Calls, an extract and a question on A Christmas Carol and the whole knowledge of the novella. And then they do a section called Unseen Poetry. We prepare students for this by giving them an unseen poetry booklet and practicing looking at unseen poems throughout the year. And that component, obviously as it's more challenging, is worth 60% of their overall GCSE literature examination. So what type of activities can we expect in the classroom? Well, every lesson starts with a drill. Sometimes there's even a drill in the middle, and often in English we use this to do quote recall. We do quote chanting because obviously the students need to know these books and plays and poems that they're reading. So we use the drill to not only hone in on some literacy skills and ensuring that the accuracy for writing is there, but also on their wider knowledge of these texts that they need to know. There's an awful lot of close reading with a bigger focus on annotation, and as I said previously, students are given the booklets so they can annotate and write notes in them. This really helps when it comes to revision. We do an awful lot of walking, talking mocks as well, so that I could talk students through the mental thinking process of how you answer questions, both at English language and at English literature, how you unpick the questions, how you concentrate on your timing and ensure you're getting the range of answers that you need in order to do well and be really successful. To support students, we always include live modelling so that we're actually writing it with them and showing them exactly how you write these answers. We've got an awful lot of low stakes quizzes as well, where we do all sorts of little activities, ensuring that students can remember exactly what they're going to need to know for these exams. And of course, this all includes our Demonstrate Connect tasks as well, where students are taught, we model, we walk and talk through it, then they demonstrate independently their own understanding by writing their own independent answer, which we then mark, and then the students can connect that learning and they can look at ways they can improve all the time, embedding and developing these skills. So these timed written responses and redrafting opportunities are vital in moving forward so that they can be really successful, and by the time they reach their actual GCSEs, feel really confident. So the next steps that students can take, and wonderfully all of our students do go on to succeed and achieve what they want to do because they're getting the results that they need in order to choose an apprenticeship or a college course or A-levels, and then a lot move on to degrees, coming to Briggs Sixth Form as well, and getting their first choice universities. Qualifications in English can lead to so many things, and it underpins every single thing we do. So it can build to a degree all of the opportunities that are available. There are just a few selections there on screen that you can see, but I'm sure you can appreciate having that good qualification in English stands you in good stead to actually take on any course you want to do in the future. I'd like to thank you for listening, and I hope that if you have any questions or queries whatsoever, that you won't hesitate to contact us here at the Vale. Thank you.